I have to get information first. I'm gonna get to know him, and when I realize his motive, I'll be the mother that stops that.
I don't even know how to respond because there's more to my romantic history with Michael than what I've told Birkan.
Michael's plane lands, and from the moment he steps into the Istanbul airport, tension fills the air. Laura's heart races, a mix of excitement, guilt, and nerve she can't shake. She's smiling, but it's the kind of smile that hides more than it shows. Birkan stands nearby, arms crossed, jaw tight. His eyes aren't warm, they're calculating. This isn't the casual greeting of a boyfriend meeting his partner's friend. This is a test, a gauntlet, and everyone knows it. Michael offers a small, thoughtful gift, a book and a packing cube he picked up from America, and instantly, the room shifts. Laura beams, "Thank you. That's so thoughtful," but Birkan doesn't budge. His response is cold, almost mocking. He asks Michael a question about violence with a tone that doesn't mask suspicion. Michael doesn't flinch, his calm demeanor a sharp contrast to Birkan's guarded energy. Right away, the triangle forms. Laura's eyes dart between the two men. She wants Birkan to approve of Michael, to like him, but she's already hiding layers of her past he doesn't know. Michael doesn't push, but his quiet patience unsettles Birkan more than any words could. Birkan's behavior is strange, unpredictable. He's cold, then gives a hint of a smile as if to confuse Michael, as if testing the waters to see who blinks first. Laura watches, torn. Should she speak up? Should she intervene? Every glance, every pause carries weight. And then, Birkan leans slightly closer to Laura, voice low, almost a whisper. Trust isn't given lightly. Don't expect it here. That warning hangs in the air, a storm cloud over what should have been a simple reunion. Everyone knows this visit isn't casual. Everyone knows the games are just beginning. Who will make the first move? Who is hiding what, and how long before the first cracks appear? Birkan doesn't waste time. The moment they step out of the taxi, he flips the switch from cold shoulder to calculated charm. He smiles, gestures politely, even offers to show Michael around the city. It's almost too quick, too staged. Michael notices, of course, but he stays calm, measuring every word, every gesture. Birkan's strategy is clear. He's testing boundaries, trying to see if Michael is genuinely here for Laura or if he's just playing a role. Laura feels it too. Her chest tightens as she watches Birkan perform this strange balancing act, shifting between warmth and sharp edges like he's a pendulum of unpredictability. She wants to speak up, to fill in the blanks, to reveal the secrets that could explain so much, but fear keeps her lips sealed. If she says too much, she risks Birkan's wrath. If she says nothing, Michael may misjudge her. Michael's patience is a silent mirror. He listens, asks simple questions, and points out practical solutions. When Laura mentions adjusting to Turkey's later sleep schedule, Michael doesn't judge, he suggests compromises. Birkan notices the contrast. Here's Michael, calm, reasonable, honest, and here's himself, oscillating between hostility and friendliness, a careful display to gauge reaction. Every small interaction becomes a test. Who will crack first? Birkan's mood swings raise stakes around lifestyle differences, sleep schedules, daily routines, priorities. Laura feels the pressure mounting. She wants everyone to be happy, but the weight of her past and the secrets she's carrying makes it almost impossible. Birkan leans closer to Laura during a quiet moment and mutters under his breath, a warning laced with both care and threat. I don't know if I can trust you again. The words hang in the air. Will Laura's truths finally surface? Or will Birkan's trust shatter before he even learns the whole story? Laura's heart pounds as she realizes the first cracks are showing. Michael casually mentions a detail from their past, something small but precise, and suddenly the air feels heavier. Laura freezes. That moment, that tiny acknowledgement, exposes a piece of her past she hasn't told Birkan, and now it's dangling dangerously in front of all of them. Michael isn't aggressive. He's calm, almost polite, but his questions are sharp, probing inconsistencies in what Laura has said. Every time she hesitates, every slight pause, it makes Birkan's instincts flare. Birkan notices the tension, senses the unspoken. His mind races between jealousy and logic, anger and restraint. He wants to protect what he has with Laura, but every word, every glance from Michael fuels a storm inside him. He can't decide if he should attack, retreat, or wait for the truth to fall into his lap. Every moment is a calculation. Laura wants to speak, to explain, to justify, but silence becomes her shield. In that silence, the danger grows. Every omission now carries the weight of potential betrayal. Michael's calm persistence contrasts sharply with Biren's emotional volatility. He points out inconsistencies subtly, almost innocently, and the room tightens around Laura like a vise. Audience starts asking questions too. Is Laura manipulating both men to protect herself? Is she testing Biren's patience? Is she hoping Michael will intervene or stay silent? Each hesitation, each withheld truth becomes its own kind of suspense. Biren steps back mentally, recognizing he can't rely on Laura to fill in the gaps. He needs clarity, needs to separate facts from manipulation. With a measured but tense expression, he makes a decision that will change the dynamics entirely. He's going to confront Michael alone. Can Biren finally get the answers he's been searching for? Or will Michael's calm reveal even deeper truths Laura hoped to hide? Biren and Michael finally find themselves alone, and the tension is electric. No Laura, no distractions, just two men facing the truth and testing boundaries. Every glance, every pause carries weight. Biren wastes no time. He brings up Laura's past and the rumors he's pieced together. He asks about debts, about gambling, about habits that could threaten the life they're planning. Michael doesn't flinch. He answers calmly, matter-of-factly, addressing Biren's concerns without defensiveness. But it isn't just facts on the table. It's trust. Biren is reading intentions, testing reactions, trying to measure honesty. When he challenges Michael about Laura's motives, Michael flips the perspective. He isn't the one causing trouble, he insists. He points to Laura's omissions, her half-truths, the things she never shared, and suddenly, the narrative shifts. Biren's carefully built assumptions wobble. The man he thought was a rival is now exposing cracks in the one he's supposed to love. Biren's ego reacts. He feels manipulated, like the ground under him is shifting. Loyalty and love are tangled together with frustration and suspicion. Every question he asks, every answer he gets, forces him to reconsider what he thought he knew. Michael insists he isn't in love, that any moves Laura says she remembers were her own decisions, not his. That revelation lands like a punch. Biren's mind races. If Michael is telling the truth, it's Laura who has been managing perceptions, who has controlled the narrative all along. Biren feels betrayed, not by Michael, but by the woman he thought he could fully trust. Laura's priorities remain a mystery, her intentions still unclear, and now Biren must confront the possibility that he's been fighting the wrong battle. Can Biren navigate this storm of secrets without losing himself? Or has Laura's silence already tilted the game against him? Biren sits alone, replaying every word from his confrontation with Michael. Each sentence, each subtle inflection hits him differently now that Laura isn't there to soften the impact. He's thinking about her silence, the half-truths, the omissions. Every secret she's carried feels like a weight pressing down on him. He wonders why she hid these details. Was it fear, shame, or something more calculated? Biren's mind is a storm of logic, emotion, and instinct. He's angry, yes, but also deeply unsettled. His trust, once given freely, now feels fractured, brittle. Across town, Laura is pacing in her apartment, the walls close around her as if reflecting her own anxiety. Guilt gnaws at her, sharp and persistent. She wants to be honest, to lay everything out, but fear stops her. Fear of Biren's reaction, fear of losing him, fear of revealing herself in a way that cannot be undone. And yet, beneath the fear, there's desire. The desire to be seen, to be approved of, to maintain some sense of control in a situation that has spiraled beyond her grasp. The audience sees her struggle, and it's humanizing. We understand her hesitation, even as we question it. Every glance she avoids, every silence she holds builds tension. She's not lying to hurt, but her choices now carry the same danger as deception. Biren's reaction reveals more than frustration. It shows a man who values loyalty above all else, who measures love not by words but by truth and consistency. His anger isn't reckless, it's calculated, protective. He's assessing every risk, gauging the probability of betrayal, trying to safeguard a relationship that already feels compromised. The day's events hang over both of them like an unresolved storm. Questions circle endlessly in the air. Can trust survive after this many gaps and secrets? Will honesty ever be enough to bridge the distance, or has the foundation cracked beyond repair? As both navigate fear, pride, and hidden truths, the relationship teeters on the edge, leaving viewers wondering if this love can endure the storm or if it's already unraveling. Birkan decides to shift gears. He knows he's been sharp, unpredictable, and maybe even unfair, so now he tries to play the diplomat. A smile, a polite question, a suggestion to explore the city together. He's softening his edges, trying to gauge Michael's response without showing too much vulnerability. It's a calculated move, a test disguised as friendliness, but Laura senses it immediately. Her stomach twists. She's watching the back and forth, aware of the performance, the subtle manipulation, and it frustrates her. She wants authenticity, yet here she is caught in the middle of another game. Michael notices the change too. He doesn't react openly, but his calm observation tells the audience he sees everything. Every shift in tone, every gesture of politeness, every half smile from Birkan is measured. Michael doesn't need to respond aggressively. His silence is as powerful as any argument. This is where the triangle's power begins to shift. The tension isn't just about attraction or jealousy anymore. It's about control, influence, and who will break first under pressure. Laura's frustration grows as she realizes she's losing agency. Birkan's oscillation between cold and warm keeps her off balance. She can't predict whether he's sincere or still testing both her and Michael. Her desire for Birkan's approval clashes with her need for honesty. She wants to trust, but every subtle act of manipulation makes her question everything. Behaviorally, this is where trust building begins to fail. You can't create stability while hiding motives, no matter how cleverly framed. Birkan thinks he's controlling the narrative, but the truth is deception, even strategic, erodes connection faster than confrontation. Every smile meant to charm, every pause meant to test, creates tension that grows like a quiet storm. As the afternoon ends, Birkan leans slightly toward Laura, voice low and firm, "I will protect this relationship." The words carry authority and care, but also a warning. They hang in the room, leaving both Laura and Michael and the audience wondering what will happen when boundaries are tested again. Will this temporary truce hold, or is the next move going to shatter the fragile trust entirely? Laura's behavior is shifting right in front of everyone. Around Michael, she's calm, measured, almost apologetic, careful with every word. Around Birkan, she's tense, defensive, like she's trying to anticipate his reactions before he even speaks. The contrast is striking. The audience can see it immediately, and the suspense grows with every interaction. She's trying to navigate two very different relationships at the same time, and the pressure is showing. Birkan notices it too. His mind races as he interprets every glance, every pause, every smile. He flips between frustration and control, trying to read Laura's intentions while testing Michael at the same time. Every small inconsistency becomes a red flag. Every hesitation a possible betrayal. His oscillation between warmth and coldness makes Laura uneasy, and the audience feels it too. Who is really in control? Who is lying? And who is merely trying to survive the tension? Michael, meanwhile, remains composed. His calm presence creates a mirror for both Laura and Birkan, reflecting truths they would rather avoid. He asks practical questions, responds rationally, and exposes inconsistencies without overt accusation. That contrast is magnifying the triangle's tension. Birkan wants clarity. Laura wants approval. Michael wants honesty. And no one knows if the next moment will be the tipping point. Laura's full history remains hidden, even as questions pile up. The audience senses the weight of what's unsaid. Every smile that doesn't reach her eyes, every pause before answering builds suspense. Will she reveal the truth? Or will her silence push Birkan further into suspicion and anger? The tension tightens like a coiled spring, and every character feels the pressure. With trust fraying, secrets hanging, and loyalties unclear, the audience is left wondering who will crack first, and who will lose control of the fragile triangle completely. Small truths start slipping out, and each one lands harder than the last. Michael, calm but deliberate, brings up moments from Laura's past, details she thought were buried or inconsequential, and presents them plainly. There's no aggression, no accusation, just quiet clarity that highlights inconsistencies in what Laura has said before. The audience can see immediately who holds the moral high ground. Michael's composure contrasts sharply with Biren's growing need to control, to dictate outcomes, and to test loyalties at every turn. Laura's reactions are subtle: a flicker of hesitation, a tightened jaw, a glance that avoids direct eye contact. She wants to justify herself, to rationalize, but the facts are stacking in ways that make explanations tricky. The tension is psychological. Biren projects his fears, his jealousy, and his anger onto every interaction, while Laura quietly navigates the fallout of her choices. Her silence becomes almost louder than any argument. Every unspoken word is a test, every evasive glance a new clue, and the audience feels the pressure of each layer. Biren struggles to maintain composure. Trust, already fragile, cracks further with each revelation. His internal dialogue is raw: anger, disappointment, fear of betrayal. He wants answers, he wants proof, he wants control, but every step toward clarity seems to make the distance between him and Laura even wider. Michael's calm exposes the truth in ways Biren can't, and it leaves Biren frustrated and off balance. With secrets unraveling, trust eroding, and motivations unclear, the stakes couldn't be higher, and every choice now could either save or destroy this relationship. Laura doesn't speak. She waits. The silence is heavy. Biren's trust hangs by a thread, and the audience is left on edge. Will this triangle survive, or is the foundation already shattered? The fallout from all the confrontations starts to settle, but it isn't calm. It's tense, heavy, and loaded with consequences. Every choice Laura has made, every omission, every subtle manipulation is catching up to her. The audience can see the threads unraveling. She wants to control how she's perceived, but the triangle she's created is tightening like a noose. Her maneuvers risk exposure, and the cracks in her carefully managed narrative are now visible to both men. Biren steps up, firm and unyielding. He sets boundaries clearly this time. No games, no half-truths. He's decided he will not let uncertainty dominate his life or the relationship. The stakes are escalating fast. Every glance, every tone, every hesitation becomes a test of loyalty. Biren's actions reveal a mix of protectiveness, frustration, and desperation. The audience senses the pressure. Will Laura rise to meet it honestly, or will her silence continue to destabilize everything? Michael, meanwhile, maintains his calm. He doesn't overreact, doesn't pass judgment overtly, but his steady demeanor adds weight. His neutrality amplifies the tension because it leaves Laura exposed in ways Biren cannot. She can no longer hide behind charm or partial truths. Every misstep is visible, every reaction scrutinized. The dynamic is shifting, and the power of perception is now as important as the facts themselves. The ultimate question looms over the room. Who will shape the future of this relationship? Will it be Laura with her secrets and desires for approval? Will Biren with his boundaries and guarded trust? Or will Michael, quietly observing, influence the outcome by his calm insistence on honesty? The audience waits, breath held, as the next move could tip the balance completely. Will Laura reveal everything, or will the triangle fracture under the weight of truth and suspicion? Everything comes to a head. Biren confronts Laura with the truths he has pieced together, his voice firm but edged with hurt. Every evasive answer, every past omission, every tiny manipulation is laid bare. Laura can no longer hide behind hesitation or charm. She must reveal, justify, or risk losing everything she's fought to preserve. The tension is electric. The audience feels the weight of every word. Michael watches composed, but his reactions are telling. He notices the cracks, the shifts in tone, the unspoken confessions. His calm contrasts sharply with Biren's intensity, highlighting how honesty and control collide in high-pressure relationships. The consequences of Laura's actions are clear. Every lie, every half-truth has ripple effects that extend beyond a single confrontation. Trust, once fractured, demands more than apologies. It requires accountability. Emotion runs high. Anger, frustration, and disappointment are met with glimpses of relief and understanding. The emotional stakes are layered. Biren grapples with betrayal and loyalty. Laura balances guilt with fear of loss, and Michael weighs fairness against intervention. The audience sees the full behavioral consequences unfold, understanding the psychological tension driving every choice. Subplots that have been building, the oscillation of warmth and cold, the secrets, the tests of loyalty, finally converge. Open loops from every session tie together as truths are revealed, boundaries are clarified, and the triangle shifts definitively. The drama lands, but there's still a lingering question. How will these revelations shape the next chapter of this complicated relationship? As the dust settles, the audience is left on edge, knowing that while today's confrontation has changed the game, the fallout is only beginning. Who will react next, and what will it mean for Laura, Biren, and Michael?